In the bustling heart of Oakville, Texas, Kewis Miller's beauty salon buzzed with laughter, the air scented with shampoo and hair products. Kelly Thompson, a vibrant 28-year-old hairstylist, moved gracefully between clients, her hands dancing through hair with a skill that showcased her passion for the craft. Her bright blue eyes sparkled with creativity as she sculpted a bob for Mrs. Henderson, an elderly lady who chatted animatedly about her grandkids. "Thomas Kelly, you always make me feel like a new woman," Mrs. Henderson exclaimed, her smile widening as Kelly finished the final touches. "That's the goal, Mrs. H. You deserve to feel fabulous," Kelly replied, beaming with pride. Despite her joy in the salon, a shadow lingered in her heart. Her parents had always envisioned a more traditional career for her, something stable and respectable. "Why can't you be a nurse or a teacher?" they often lamented. But Kelly knew that hairstyling was her calling, a way to express herself and bring joy to others. Just then, the bell above the door jingled, and the atmosphere shifted. John Smith, a disheveled figure in his early 40s, stepped into the salon. His clothes were worn and his face bore the weight of unseen battles. He looked around, uncertainty etched into his features, as if he were trying to find a place in a world that felt foreign to him. "Can I help you?" Kelly asked gently, her heart going out to him. John met her gaze, his voice barely above a whisper. I could use a haircut, but I don't have much money." Kelly felt a pang of sympathy. "You don't have to worry about that. I can give you a free haircut." Her kindness was instinctive, a reflection of her nurturing spirit. From behind the reception desk, Sarah Miller, the salon owner, overheard their conversation. Her face hardened, and she stepped forward. "Kelly, you can't just give away services. This is a business, not a charity," she snapped, her tone dripping with disdain. "You're here to make money, not to play the saint." Kelly's heart sank at Sarah's words. "But he needs help, Sarah. Isn't it important to show compassion?" Sarah crossed her arms, unimpressed. "Compassion doesn't pay the bills, Kelly. Remember that." The tension in the air thickened, leaving an uncomfortable silence in its wake. Kelly's resolve, however, remained unshaken, for she believed that sometimes kindness mattered more than profit. John Smith stepped into Miller's beauty salon, a mix of apprehension and hope swirling in his chest. The vibrant colors of the salon contrasted sharply with his muted demeanor, a reflection of the struggles he faced after returning from the war. Kelly, with her warm smile and welcoming demeanor, was ready to work her magic. "Hey, John, I'm so glad you came," she said, gesturing for him to take a seat in the salon chair. "Let's make you feel like a brand new man today." He chuckled softly, settling into the chair. "I'm not sure that's possible, but I'm willing to try." As Kelly draped a cape around him, she began to comb through his tangled hair. "So tell me more about yourself," she prompted, trying to draw him out. "What did you do before everything?" John's gaze fell to the floor, his voice a whisper. "I was a mechanic, loved working with my hands, but after the war, it's like I lost that part of myself. Everything feels different." Kelly nodded, understanding the heaviness in his words. "I can't even imagine what you've been through, but you're here now, and that's what matters. We can start fresh today, just like this haircut." As she snipped away, the atmosphere lightened, laughter bubbling between them. "You know, my sister once tried to cut my hair when I was a kid. I ended up looking like a cartoon character," John recounted, his eyes twinkling with the memory. "Really?" Kelly laughed, her hands deftly working. "I can't picture you as anything but a rugged hero." After a while, John's reflection in the mirror began to change. The layers fell away, revealing not just a new hairstyle but a glimpse of the man he used to be. "Wow," he said, astonished. "I didn't expect this. You really have a gift, Kelly." Just then, Sarah Miller stormed into the salon, her face twisted in anger. "What on earth are you doing, Kelly?" she barked, eyes narrowing at John. "This isn't a charity." Kelly straightened, her heart sinking. "I was just helping him, Sarah. He needed this." "Helping? You're throwing away my profits for some sob story. This is a business, not a playground." Sarah's voice was sharp, cutting through the warmth that had just filled the air. John shifted uncomfortably in his chair, sensing the tension. "I didn't mean to cause any trouble," he mumbled, looking down. "Spare me," Sarah retorted. "You're fired, Kelly. Kindness has no place in my salon." As Sarah's words echoed, Kelly felt a mix of disbelief and anger. "You can't be serious," she exclaimed, her voice trembling. "I was only trying to help." "Consider this your last day," Sarah snapped, storming out of the salon. The atmosphere shifted dramatically as John's earlier joy faded into a heavy silence. "I'm so sorry, Kelly," he murmured, guilt washing over him. "Don't be," she replied, her resolve hardening. "This is bigger than just a job. I'll find a way to keep helping people, even if it's not here." With that, she turned to the mirror, taking a deep breath as she faced her own reflection, determined to carve out a new path for herself and for those like John. The salon might have been her workplace, but her heart had always been in serving others. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over Oakville, Mayor Mike Johnson strode into Miller's beauty salon with an air of determination. Behind him trailed John Smith, flanked by a small group of townspeople, all wearing expressions of solidarity and admiration. The salon, once a bustling hub of beauty and laughter, now felt heavy with the echoes of discontent and disappointment following Kelly's dismissal. "Kelly Thompson!" the mayor called out, his voice resonating through the salon. "We're here to honor you." The room fell silent as all eyes turned to her. She stood behind the now empty styling chair, her heart racing. "Mayor Johnson, Kelly started, her voice barely above a whisper, but he raised a hand to stop her. "Let me speak," he said, a warm smile breaking across his face. "What you did for John here was no small act. You showed kindness when it was needed the most." The townspeople murmured in agreement, their nods of encouragement washing over her like a comforting wave. John stepped forward, his scruffy beard framing a face softened by gratitude. "I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for you, Kelly. You gave me more than just a haircut. You gave me hope." The mayor pulled out a framed certificate and held it high. "On behalf of the town of Oakville, we present you with this certificate of appreciation and a little something from our community." He turned to reveal an envelope filled with cash, the townspeople having banded together to collect $10,000 for her. Overwhelmed, tears brimmed in Kelly's eyes as she accepted both the certificate and the envelope, her hands trembling. I don't know what to say. Thank you all so much." She felt the weight of the moment, realizing this was more than just money. It was a lifeline, a chance to pursue her dream of opening her own salon. As the cheers erupted around her, Kelly glanced at John, who gave her a reassuring nod. "You can do this, Kelly. You have the talent and the heart." With renewed determination, she looked at the faces surrounding her, friends, neighbors, and supporters. "I will open my own salon. I promise to create a space where kindness and community come first." Cheers erupted once again, the atmosphere electric with hope. In that moment, Kelly knew she was not just fighting for her dreams. She was fighting for the very essence of what Oakville stood for: compassion, community, and resilience. As they celebrated, Kelly began to envision Thompson's hair studio not just as a business, but as a sanctuary for all who needed it. The road ahead was uncertain, but with the support of her town, she felt ready to take the leap. As the sun rose over Oakville, the vibrant new sign of Thompson's Hair Studio gleamed with promise. Kelly Thompson stood at the entrance of her salon, her heart swelling with anticipation. The townspeople, aware of her journey and commitment to kindness, began to gather outside, eager to witness the transformation of the once empty space into a sanctuary of beauty and compassion. "Kelly, we're so proud of you," shouted Mrs. Jenkins, a longtime resident known for her radiant smile. The crowd cheered, and Kelly felt a rush of warmth envelop her. She opened the door, welcoming everyone inside with a bright smile. "Thank you all for being here. Let's celebrate together." Inside, The salon buzzed with laughter and chatter. Kelly moved gracefully from one station to another, styling hair and sharing stories. The aroma of fresh coffee and pastries filled the air, courtesy of the bakery down the street that had offered their goods to support her grand opening. "Kelly, this place is amazing," exclaimed Lucy, a cheerful high school student getting her first professional haircut. "I can't believe how far you've come." Kelly smiled, her heart full. "I couldn't have done it without the support of this community. You all inspire me every day." Meanwhile, Sarah Miller watched from across the street, her once thriving salon now a shadow of its former self. The empty chairs and silent atmosphere echoed the disconnection she had fostered. Gazing at Kelly's success, frustration bubbled within her. "Why can't they see my value?" she muttered to herself, tightening her grip on her coffee cup. Inside her salon, Kelly continued to thrive, her talent seamlessly blending with her warmth. As she styled John's hair, he looked in the mirror and saw a new man. "I can't believe how different I look," he said, a smile breaking across his face. "You look fantastic, John. This is just the beginning," Kelly replied, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. "I want to start a program for veterans to learn cosmetology. You'd be perfect as my first student." John's face lit up with hope. "Really, I'd love that. It feels good to belong somewhere again." As the day unfolded, Kelly's vision began to take shape. She envisioned a space where veterans could not only learn a trade, but also find solace and camaraderie. The salon was more than just a business. It was a beacon of hope and healing for those who had fought to protect their country. "Together, we can make a difference," Kelly said, her voice resolute. "Let's show everyone that kindness and community can build something beautiful." With renewed determination, she prepared to take the next steps in her mission, confident that the love and support of Oakville would carry her forward in this new chapter of her life. As the months rolled by in Oakville, the once thriving Miller's Beauty Salon fell silent. Sarah Miller stood in the empty space that had been her livelihood for 15 years, a ghost of her former self. The chairs were untouched, the mirrors clouded with dust, reflecting a woman lost in her choices. She wrapped her arms around herself, feeling the weight of her decisions pressing down like an anchor. The vibrant laughter and chatter of clients had been replaced with an eerie stillness, amplifying her solitude. "What went wrong?" Sarah muttered to herself, her voice echoing off the cold walls. "I was successful. I was respected." Her mind wandered back to the day she had fired Kelly, the moment that had set everything into motion. "If only I had been kinder," she whispered, a tear slipping down her cheek. The realization hit her hard. Her relentless pursuit of profits had blinded her to the very essence of community and compassion. Meanwhile, across town, Kelly Thompson had transformed her dreams into a flourishing reality. Thompson's hair studio was more than just a salon. It had become a beacon of hope for many. Each day, Kelly hosted free workshops, inviting anyone in need to learn about hairstyling and self-care. The warm, inviting atmosphere welcomed veterans, single parents, and those struggling to make ends meet. Her laughter rang through the space, a melody that soothed the heavy hearts of her clients. "Kelly, you really have a gift for making people feel special," remarked John, as he swept the floor after a busy day. He had grown into a promising stylist himself, his confidence blossoming under Kelly's mentorship. "Just doing what I love, John," Kelly replied, her eyes sparkling with joy. "Everyone deserves a little kindness and beauty in their lives." One day, as the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden hue over Oakville, Sarah found herself standing outside Thompson's hair studio. She hesitated, her heart racing before finally summoning the courage to step inside. The familiar scent of hair products and the sound of laughter enveloped her. "Kelly." Sarah's voice trembled as she approached the reception desk. Kelly looked up, her expression shifting from surprise to understanding. "Sarah, what brings you here?" I need to talk." "I've been reflecting on everything," Sarah confessed, her voice cracking. "I made terrible choices and I'm lost. I was hoping you might help me start over." Kelly studied her former boss for a moment, seeing the vulnerability in her eyes. She took a deep breath, embodying the compassion she had fostered within herself. "Of course, Sarah, we all stumble sometimes. Let's talk about how you can find your way back." And with that, the seed of reconciliation was planted, symbolizing a new beginning for both women. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over Oakville, the town was abuzz with gossip. Sarah Miller had been apprehended, her face pale and eyes wide with disbelief as she was led away by the authorities. Rumors of her embezzlement had spread like wildfire, igniting a wave of shock and disappointment in the community that had once supported her business. Kelly stood outside her salon, Thompson's Hair Studio, surrounded by a crowd of loyal customers and friends, her heart heavy yet resolute. "Did you hear what she did?" whispered Marlene, a regular at the salon, shaking her head in disbelief. "After everything, how could she betray us like that?" Kelly nodded, her thoughts racing. "I never wanted to see her hurt," she murmured. "But we can't ignore what she did. The community deserves better." "Let's not focus on her anymore," John interjected, stepping forward with a reassuring smile. "You've built something amazing here, Kelly. She can't take that away from you." Feeling a swell of gratitude for John's unwavering support, Kelly steeled herself. "You're right. This is about us, about the community. We have to keep moving forward." As Sarah was driven away, the townspeople rallied around Kelly, their faces reflecting admiration and solidarity. Mayor Johnson stood at the forefront, raising his voice above the murmurs. "This is a new chapter for Oakville, one of kindness and support. Let's celebrate what we've built together." The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices echoing through the streets. Kelly felt a wave of warmth and strength wash over her. She turned to John, who had become not just a friend, but a confidant, his journey mirroring her own in so many ways. Later, as the sun began to set, the salon was alive with laughter and chatter. It was time for a special celebration, one that would mark not only Kelly's success, but also the bond she had formed with John. As she sat in the stylist chair, John approached her with scissors in hand, a confident smile lighting up his face. "Ready for your transformation?" he asked playfully. Kelly chuckled, feeling a mix of excitement and nostalgia. "I can't believe it's come to this, but I trust you completely." As he began to cut her hair, she closed her eyes, letting the rhythm of the scissors calm her. "You've come so far, John. You're not just a veteran, you're a stylist now." "Thanks to you," he replied earnestly, his hands deftly crafting a new look. "You showed me that kindness can change lives." With each snip, Kelly felt lighter, not just in spirit, but in purpose. She opened her eyes, looking around at the vibrant salon filled with laughter and love. It was more than just a business. It was a home, a community space where everyone was welcome. As John finished the cut, Kelly gazed into the mirror, her heart swelling with gratitude. "This is beautiful. Thank you, John. I couldn't have done any of this without you and everyone here." He smiled back, a shared understanding passing between them. "We did this together, Kelly. Remember, true success is all about lifting each other up." In that moment, surrounded by the warmth of Oakville and the bonds they had forged, Kelly knew she had found her true calling, not just as a hairstylist, but as a beacon of hope and kindness in her community.